Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk a little bit more about the secret planes, but not really. Some questions came in, and they're good questions, and they help shed light on foreign policy and how things work. One set of questions was really people like, who is this for? Like, why would they put this information out? Is this for potential customers? Why on earth would a private company intentionally put this stuff out? The other one was from people mostly in the Navy who asking the exact same question. Why would they put this out? If you're in the Navy, you don't disclose any specs about subs or anything like that, right? Okay, the answer is kind of simple. All major world powers that have their own defense research, okay, they all do something like this. They do it different ways. The West, the U.S. in particular, likes to induce uncertainty. The target of that messaging, it's not potential customers. It's not really even the American people. It's not aviation nerds. It's other world powers. The West likes to hint to things, but not actually disclose specs. And we'll come back to why in a minute. China doesn't really have a pattern that I'm aware of yet. They tend to really kind of build the product and then say, this is what we have. There's not a lot of signaling that I've seen, not on the same level. Russia likes to say, hey, we have this, here are the specs, and like overestimate them, okay? Which really worked during the Cold War because it made the West spend a bunch of money trying to compete to make sure there wasn't a bomber gap or whatever. Doesn't work so well now because in the beginning of the Cold War, things were a little different. That military-industrial complex that the U.S. has now, when Russia releases specs saying, hey, we have this product that can do this, the American defense industry, they're like, awesome, now we get to build a new product that we're going to sell to counter it. So they just design the American product that is going to be used to counter that piece of equipment to the specs that are overestimated. This is kind of what happened with the whole super missile that Russia had. They had this high-tech piece of equipment that they thought was going to be incredibly effective, and then the Patriot showed up. And, they got all mad, and, the people who operate Patriots are kind of like, I'm sorry, we built our stuff to defeat what you said you had. And so in today's world, Russia's strategy doesn't work as well. It worked really well in the 50s and 60s. It was incredibly effective. So that's what they do. They try to use fear in the sense of this is what we can do and you can't stop it. That very overbearing attitude with their information operations. The U.S., it's uncertainty. It's still to induce fear, make no mistake about it. It's just less direct. Because now China has to wonder, well, how far along is that silhouette? And keep in mind, we've seen the silhouette, but it is really similar to that F-19 from the 80s. I mean, for all we know, that's not even what the plane looks like. And they were just like, yeah, use that one and throw that up there. It could be a lie. And then the other thing that the West does, because there is uncertainty, sometimes the West will be like checking out a new technology, determine it's not feasible, and then release information saying that they're doing it. Because then it might induce other world powers to waste a bunch of resources trying to duplicate something that isn't possible. So the audience for those posts, it's not us. It's other world powers. It's head games. It's trolling, just on an international level. Now, I'm not sure why there is such a difference in this attitude when it comes to the way the aviation world looks at it and the way the Navy looks at it. Because the Navy, like, they don't release anything ever. And they tend to lie and underestimate their capabilities when stuff does go out. It's probably an institutional culture thing. I don't really have an answer to that as to why. It definitely seems different, though. But that's the answer. It is designed to influence spending and production in competitor nations. And they do the exact same thing, just in different ways. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.